Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sunny, and this is my podcast, Sunny's Geeky Grove. This is episode 19. If you are new here, welcome. Glad to have you. Today, I'm going to be discussing the wonderful original show from UPN and then transferred to the CW, Veronica Mars. So, Veronica Mars is a noir crime thriller drama teen television show that premiered on UPN in 2004. It stars Kristen Bell, Jason Dohring, Percy Daggs III, Francis Capra, lots of wonderful, wonderful people. A lot of you might know Kristen Bell from NBC's The Good Place, or you might know her from that amazing horror movie called Pulse, or she is Anna in Frozen, Disney's Frozen. But a lot of the actors have been in a lot of other culty type television shows. Jason Dohring was in an episode of Supernatural as the god Kronos, and he's been in iZombie as Chase Graves. He was also in a very short-lived CW original called The Ringer, starring Sarah Michelle Gellar. A very underrated and canceled before its time show, but we're not talking about that. Also, Veronica's dad, played by Enrico Colantino, I believe. He was on Just Shoot Me, that really old show. And we also have stars like Ryan Hansen, who's a really great comedic actor. Tina Moreno, she was in Waterworld. Super great. Yep. There's also just a bunch of characters in there that actors that kind of overlap from like Buffy or Angel. We have Allison Hannigan, who plays Trina Eccles in a handful of episodes of season 1 and 2. Then we have Charisma Carpenter, who plays Kendall Casablancas in pretty much all of season 2. I mean, she's not in every single episode, but she's in a large majority of them. And they are both from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So it has a lot of actors that you've seen, and you know you've seen, but you maybe can't place them. And like I said, it did come out in 2004. It premiered on UPN in America, and it was one of their just primetime TV shows that was on at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. or what have you, and, you know, a good teen show. But before we get into the big meat of it, hit that like button and really just, help me out. Keep this channel going. If you are new here, click that subscribe button. And if you haven't yet, ring that bell to get notified of whenever I post a new episode of my podcast or a new video in general. So what is Veronica Mars about? Well, Kristen Bell is our protagonist, our main character. She plays the titular Veronica Mars. She lives in Neptune, California, which has the elite, illustrious zip code 90909, where the top 1% live. The wealthiest people in the city live there. She does not. It starts out with a narration. It's very noir-esque. It's a show created by Rob Thomas, who really does love his noir-styled themes, if you will. And we learn that Veronica is an outsider. She doesn't fit in. She is angry and brash and rough around the edges. But as the pilot episode progresses, we learn that she used to be very entrenched in that '09 culture. She dated Duncan Cain, son of Jake Cain, who basically in this world created YouTube. Shout out. He created and revolutionized streaming video, and he's, a billionaire, multi-billionaire, I believe. And everyone that worked for the company became multimillionaires overnight, down to the secretarial pool, is how they say it. Obviously, it was made a very long time ago, so some of the verbiage, some of the tones of the jokes kind of fall flat. So you'll have to keep that in mind. But we learned that she was part of the 09er clique. She was part of that circle, that friend group, because she was dating Duncan, and his best friend was Logan Eccles. And Aaron Eccles is a very famous movie star. Think like Tom Cruise, Arnold Schwarzenegger type people. Action movie, kind of older, probably does a lot of his own stunts. Super kind of a dick. But yeah. And her best friend was Lily Kane, Duncan's sister. And they were all four very close. And we learn about the dynamic between them. Obviously, that trend follows through the first season. Because in the pilot, the whole plot of season 1, it has a season-wide story arc, is we learn that it's been almost a year since her best friend Lily was murdered. And supposedly someone has confessed, but is that the real killer? And it deals with her losing her status in high school, and losing her mom. You find all of this out in the pilot, so no spoilers past that, no big major spoilers. And you find out that, her dad used to be the sheriff, Sheriff Keith Mars, but he was ousted because of the Lily Kane investigation. And just seeing how she deals with all of that, her family ties, and just really seeing who she is as a person. They have such wonderful character development. They introduce a lot of unique characters that start out maybe as stereotypes and 2D flat, but as the episode even progresses, as the season continues and progresses, they morph and shape, and you find different rationales and reasons that they have for why they are the way they are, why they act this way. It's really solid writing from a team that has experience writing strong female leads, writing strong antagonists, and just supporting characters. The writing's phenomenal, and it really does bring these characters from the flat words to life, which can sometimes be hard for, secondary characters. There's a character that I feel like his first appearance was in season 2, and he's in maybe like 4 or 5 episodes, but he is just so well-rounded and so genuine as a person. His name is Corny, that you feel like you know him. You see him for a few minutes here and there, but the actor's portrayal, the words, the well-written and realistic way that he is interjected into a scene, it's just so well done that the writing is just super impressive. The show, as it progresses, obviously we open with a murder, a teen murder, but as it progresses, even in the pilot, they touch on really serious subjects. They are like Degrassi. They're not afraid to go there. Veronica Mars, it goes there. But it really does touch on a lot of themes that you would feel would be just not something that a cable network channel would want to touch on in 2004. Obviously, the teen murder at the beginning, that's tough as it is, but then there is, a lot of other stuff. There's racism, there's like socioeconomic imbalances and the classism. There's all of these stereotypes that are thrust on characters either by themselves or onto others. And the way that the show approaches them is not through rose-tinted glasses. It presents them as, this is a character flaw. This character is flawed and believes these things or does these things. And you can either enjoy the character's progression or continue to dislike that character. And there are revelations within that certain thing, whether brought on by an external force or an internal force, that characters move past certain transgressions and essentially make amends, especially with the the racial jokes that they make. It's pointed out as being very toxic and that it shouldn't be something that's just allowed. One of my favorite quotes that Veronica says to somebody, I won't spoil who or when, but she says to this person that they stand idly by. And it's just such a dig because this character has been experiencing another character's blatant racism and classism and douchebaggery. And they have not said anything. They haven't corrected that behavior, even though they don't personally feel that themselves. And, you know, Veronica makes a compelling argument that a lot of times when it's somebody that we care about, that we love, that we're close to, we can just end up standing idly by and allowing them to say these things. And she will not. She calls people out on our bull. She makes it a point to, you know, include everybody and give everybody a fair chance if they, you know, deserve it. Obviously, not everyone will deserve a fair chance or her help, but, you know, she tries to see the best in people and fight for what she believes in. And I am 12 minutes into this and I have not mentioned that she is a junior private eye, but she is, and that's the premise of it. You know, it's a murder mystery, and she is a teenage private investigator. She works with her father, who is a PI, and they work on cases, bail jumpers, and, you know, cheating husbands or wives, things like that. She helps find, you know, a kid's dad, or she helps find a lost dog. She helps with like a Nigerian scam. She is so resourceful and talented in solving these mysteries. Each episode has, you know, like a little mini story arc, obviously, an episodic arc, and it plays into the larger story season arc as well, where, you know, she learns more on Lily's case while she's trying to reconnect these two long-lost lovers, or something like that. It is a show that has very strong female characters. There isn't a lot of infighting between the girls within the show. She really doesn't have any female best friends. She really only has one best friend, and his name is Wallace. And they are bro TP until the end of time. But as the show goes on, I believe in season 2, one of the series regulars is Tina, and she plays Mac, and they become very close friends. They become a little group, the three of them. It's super adorable. I love them so much. But the main reason why I'm talking about this is it is now streaming on Hulu. The first 3 seasons, the first 2 seasons from UPN and the 3rd season on the CW, which, by the way, season 3, kind of a mess. That's okay. It still has some good characters, pretty nice season story arcs. There's 2. It has some good character development. We kind of have some character digression in a few characters, in a lot of characters, actually. But it's a mess, but it's fun at the same time. I believe, in my humble opinion, it's the weaker of the 3 seasons. Season 2 is my favorite season, only because of one of the characters that they introduce. When I first watched it through, I loved this character so very much. I always will love this character. The actor is really great. He's gone on to star in The Haunting in Connecticut. I'm not going to spoil anything because, I don't want people to spoil it for themselves. But that's enough information. If you want to do all that hard labor, you sure can. And the new revival that Hulu is giving us is going to take place after the movie that came out, a Kickstarter funded movie called Veronica Mars Movie. It was released in 2013, I believe. And my apologies, 2014, so 10 years later. It takes place, 10 years after the end of, or about 8 years after the end of season 3. And, we catch up with Veronica and all of the other characters that make it through. And we see where she's at. What's she doing? Where's she coming back to? The movie does deal with a lot more of the state of America, especially in 2014, with the racial tensions and, gang wars and the oppression that the lower class deals with, especially in that part of California. And it's a social commentary, obviously, but it has, the same general feel. It's witty, it's smart, it's well written, it's funny, it's suspenseful, there's a crime, there's mystery, and there's sleuthing afoot. And so the Hulu revival takes place after that. There were also 2 novels that came out, and I have not read them, but they are canonical. So I probably should read them before the revival, because I hear that they killed somebody in one of the books, and I don't know who it was. So I should probably read that to find out. But that premieres July 26th on Hulu. It is a Hulu original. So you should binge season 1, 2, and 3, and then watch the revival. I believe it is 6 episodes on July 26th on Hulu. Strongly recommend it. It's only like $12 for ad-free. I personally pay that because I am very impatient sometimes. When I am binging a show, I don't want this 30-second break in between my episodes. And especially because How to Get Away with Murder has them before and after, and why do you do this to me, Hulu? Anyway, I do strongly recommend it. I think it is worthwhile if you enjoy a good suspenseful show, if you enjoy trying to figure out the mystery before Veronica can, trying to piece together all the clues. They give you everything. And, they don't hold back. There are obvious red herrings. There are obviously red herrings in there, and then there's the obvious red herrings, so that was double meaning the way I said that. Yeah, you're welcome for that over explanation. But it is quite enjoyable. Kristen Bell is stunning as Veronica Mars. It is her most iconic role, in my opinion, for how short-lived this show is. I feel like you say Kristen Bell and people are like, oh yeah, Veronica Mars, right? Well, now they say, oh, you mean Anna? Nah, bish, we mean Eleanor Shellstrop. The Good Place, NBC, renewed for season 4 last season. Also a really good show. I mean, just Kristen Bell is wonderful. She was terrible in Hit and Run with her husband, Dax Shepard, but I don't really find him funny, though he is in the movie as Creeper at the bar. So it's cute to see them together. They're adorable. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. I'm sure you are done doing whatever you were doing. Maybe you were doing dishes, vacuuming. Well, how could you doing laundry, cleaning the litter box, taking your dog for a walk. Maybe you were just, sitting, trying to calm down and go to bed, and you just wanted to hear Sunny ramble on and on and on about Veronica Mars. Or maybe you wanted to be like, Sunny's gonna have them wrong opinions. Well, you know what? Don't. Because Veronica Mars is a treasure, a gem, a precious gem. If you disagree, leave a comment down below. Hit that like button if you agree with what I've said, or if you disagree, hit that like button. Yeah, you see what I did there? Oh my god. Heads I win, tails you lose. Anyway, if you'd like to be, please hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell to get notified. We have push notifications on the app on your phone or an email. And my name is Sunny. You've been amazing. I hope you have a good one. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you.